Well, hello, everyone. I am Cedrick, and welcome to my world. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know what? Everybody needs a little TLC, and I'm Cedrick LaFleur, your host. I'm excited to be back with you today. Last Monday I was out sick, but I am back and in the saddle, and we are excited to be here with you today, folks. I have a wonderful guest on my show today, and I'm just excited. I'm always excited when she comes on the show. So let's make sure that you're ready as well. And let's have a great show experience. So, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. And we like to add value to you and to your business and to your house tonight, folks. Tonight, the law of buy-in says people buy into the leader, then they buy into the vision. Mahatma Gandhi spent decades teaching others how to gain their freedom through peaceful efforts and nonviolence. And eventually the people of India bought into his vision and were able to carry out the mission. Now, the lesson here is, see, people don't buy into what you do. They buy into why you do it. People will gravitate to the leader before the dream. And let me tell you what, folks, tonight, I'm telling you, once you hear our guest speak, you're going to buy into what she does and why she does it, because she's passionate about it. And I love it. And, Bruce Springsteen himself said, a time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man or woman that you want to become and start being the man or woman that you want to be. And tonight is the night to be that man or woman in your business. And I have none other than Miss Denise Williams, the Procurement Queen, with us in studio. Welcome, Denise.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Cedrick.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to have you in the studio. This is your second appearance on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. So, it's sort of like Saturday Night Live when you're the host and you come back for a second time.
I love it.
So let me tell you a little bit about the Procurement Queen, and then, guys, we're going to get into it. So she's going to help you better understand your business and why you need her service. So the Procurement Queen, Miss Denise Williams, is America's favorite procurement educator. Denise helps small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs better navigate the government and private contracting process via the delivery of her courses that include seminars, workshops, curricula, and training. Now, her seminars are engaging, and she provides you, her client, with valuable information to compete for contracts. And we're going to share some of that stuff with you tonight. Denise has over 18 years of experience and has held positions with increasing levels of responsibility, starting as a financial analyst, a senior financial analyst, and before being promoted to assistant director of purchasing at one of the largest school districts in New Jersey, with over 900, almost $1 billion under her tool belt. You don't see what I'm saying, folks? So this lady, see, you're not just going to get $1 billion under your tool belt without knowing anything. So she knows a lot of stuff, all right? So we just want to say that right now. Now, as the assistant director of purchasing, she was responsible for oversight of procurement, strategic sourcing, e-procurement functions, and she managed a team of strategic sourcing analysts, right? Her areas of spend activity included the purchase of professional services, that's what you sell, equipment and supplies, contracted services, and other operational supplies to support the district. Now, Denise is the author of an Amazon best-selling book, and she's earned her bachelor's degree in finance from Rutgers University and a master's of business administration and accounting from St. Peter's University. She is a qualified purchasing agent. She is a purchasing official. She's registered, as a purchasing official, and she holds a diploma of certificate from the Chartered Institute of Procurement. In other words, she knows her stuff. All right. She's certified professional in supply management, and she's certified professional in supplier diversity. And you want to know about that tonight, folks. Denise remains an active member of the Institute of Supply Management, and she currently lives in New Jersey, and she enjoys spending time with her daughter, Sterling, and her son, Phoenix. So welcome again to the show, Miss Denise Williams, the Procurement Queen.
Thank you for having me again, Cedrick.
Yes, you are welcome. So, let's just dive into it because people are always asking me about, these certifications. And I'll let you talk about them, but they're talking, want to know about veteran-owned businesses, about minority-owned business, about women-owned business, about all of these certifications. And I'm not the guy. I brought the lady who knows it right here. So tell us a little bit about what made you get interested in the procurement space from the beginning.
From the beginning, I had finance background. Then I started to teach at one of the largest school districts in New Jersey. I taught physics and I taught business courses. And I took that job because I wanted to have a family. I was in investment banking prior to that. And so after I had my daughter, I was like, I need some more money than just teaching salary. So I decided to apply for a job internally, and they had an opening for assistant director of purchasing. And all I honestly just looked at was the salary, and I was like, count me in, resume sent. I did not do any research. I didn't know what purchasing was. I didn't know what they did, nothing. I don't advise you to do that now, but that's what I did and how I got involved in it. And I showed up for the interview, and the first thing they did was to give me a test. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't Google. HR is like right here. And so I had to basically like write this RFP like on the spot. And apparently I did very well. I was like, oh, okay, great. I had no idea. And so I got the job. And then while I was in the position, I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. I really like it. So when I started to pursue it even further and got all the different certifications in purchasing and in procurement, which is like, I didn't need that, but I just wanted to know more about the field. And so that was my journey in procurement, completely accidental. But I enjoy loving it. I love it.
Well, that is awesome, and I'm glad that you love it. So, you have your business niche is very interesting. There's not a lot of people that I know that are in this area. I remember years ago, I was like, you know what? It would probably be good to get all those certifications, but I'm not going to do it because it's just too much. When you got to apply to the government, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff you have to do, right? And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And then I heard you one night and I said, oh, if she's going to do it for me, then I'm all in. So talk about your business niche and tell us really what it is.
So when I got involved in the assistant director of purchasing, right, at that district, I see so many contracts, all sorts of contracts came at my desk. And I was like, oh my God, there's a contract for classroom etiquette, like to teach the kids how to use a fork and a knife. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm an immigrant. So when I see things like that, I'm like, my grandma, my auntie could do this, right? And I had no idea. And so that really sparked an interest. And then I had like a budget within the purchasing department. And in that budget, we had something called set aside opportunities. And set aside opportunities came about because of like a whole disparity study. But in simple forms, it's a pool of money that was in a budget that says, hey, Denise, we are looking for minority owned plumbers. And if we're able to find these minority owned plumbers that are certified, we have this pool of money set aside just for that contract. You cannot give that contract to any other group besides that, because it was set aside just for people who have these certifications. And then what I would find is I would put out these bids and like nobody would respond. And I'm like, my God, this is money just sitting there. You need the certification. I can't walk you through it, right? But the business owners need to know that these certifications exist. And over time, a lot of the people were like, Denise, you've had this money for a while now. We need it over here in this department. We have people that could use it. And so you will find that oftentimes the money would start to dwindle because not a lot of people are out there that are certified. Now, there are lots of African American plumbers, right? Electricians, but the key is that your companies absolutely must be certified. Because a lot of states also have recognized that a lot of companies are not aware of the certification or not getting certification, they have also initiated what's called waivers that says, hey, um, to other groups. So other groups will say, well, company XYZ tried to get this vendor certification set aside opportunity, but no one's responding. Here's a piece of paper. We tried to get vendors, but no one responds. So therefore, we're going to take some of that money and give it to some other companies who are not certified. So we definitely don't want too much of that to be going on. We want our companies out there who meet their qualifications to get their companies certified, so that way they could compete for these opportunities and they could be awarded these contracts. And there'll be no need for waivers if we have a qualified candidate pool.
Wow. So you're telling me that there are opportunities out there for minority owned business, woman owned business, veteran owned businesses. And there's money that's sitting there waiting to give to them. However, people are not applying.
That is correct. They're not
Wow.
applying, they're not certified. And there are lots of African American companies, veteran owned, women owned businesses, but they have to have their business certified. So if your state have a certification program, you want to get certified because chances are your state have goals at these other organizations and these other governmental agencies. So you could tap into that as well.
Wow. So at the state level, that happens. Uh, excuse me. At the local government level, that happens as well, right?
Yes. Yep. And at the federal level, definitely.
And at the federal level. Wow. That's amazing. So entrepreneurs, hear what she's saying. There's money out there waiting to be given to you, but you got to apply for the money. They're not going to come and knock on your door and say, hey, here's the money, come get it, right? You got to apply for it, right? So does it matter if your business is big big or small in order to be certified?
Very good question. So the criteria varies from state to state. Some states require that your business be in effect for at least 1 year. Other states, there's no limitation. Like in New Jersey, you can start your business on Monday and submit your application to be certified on Tuesday, right? It depends on how quick you get all the other documents needed, right? So that
Right.
is possible. So every state is unique in that approach. And there are some states that have the certification and some states that don't. Some states, for example, in Texas have hub zone, right? And in New Jersey, we also have the minority and the women certification. But in some states, they may not have it. They may lump it all into one. But it's still so. And SWAM is in Virginia. Someone just typed that in. Yep.
Okay, so SWAM is something
Mhm.
that's in Virginia.
Yes.
Um, all right, so there you go, Cheryl. SWAM is in Virginia, and is that something that your company helps with this certification?
Yes, I've helped lots of companies in Virginia, and Virginia does a really good job. When you go on their portal,
Mhm.
you're able to see all the set aside opportunities for Virginia. The information is really good. They'll tell you how many contracts, what purchase order amounts. So Virginia is very transparent in that. And if you're in a different state, I also recommend you use the transparency in the data on Virginia's website, because what you will find is one of the same vendors that award the contract in Virginia being awarded that contract in California, in New Jersey, in New York, and multiple states. So when you start competing for these opportunities, you can get a sense of what the pricing is like. And websites such as Virginia, where they're very transparent with that information up front. Okay.
Wow. So then what they need to do, what Cheryl needs to do is go to procurementqueen.com and look under services. And so for her, which I know you have a lot of different services, right? Which one should she apply for to help her with that process?
Good question. So right now, one of the things I've always done with my clients is, even though she went on, and so Virginia has the minority as well as the women. So Cheryl, if you just purchase the women's certification, you would also get the minority certification as well for the same price, right? I don't charge each package for one right now. I often get my clients multiple certifications when they purchase the package. So if you purchase the minority, I'll say to you, hey, Cheryl, you're a female also. Do you know you could also get this certification? Let me know if that's okay with you, and I'll submit your application for that as well. So that is a service that currently that I offer to my clients once they go to the website, just visit and purchase one.
All right. She said, thanks. She'll be in touch. So, folks, in the comment section, I just put in the link for the Procurement Queen's website, right? So make sure that you know that. And Procurement Queen, because we have so many people come from recommendations, being a friend of SETI, she has a discount set up for you as well. You have that still set up on your website, right?
It's still there.
Yeah. So there you go. Being a friend of SETI, folks, some of you know what I'm talking about. You get those discounts when you come right here. So make sure you go sign up for this service. So you're going to find out along the way tonight, folks, that there's going to be a lot of you that have a need for her service. We're going to get into some of those in just a few minutes here. So what made what made you decide I'm going to leave corporate and I'm going to become an entrepreneur?
I did it after, I would say, I left one of my jobs and I just decided to do that. I had the support at the time with, a significant other. And so it was like, okay, well, let me just try something new. And so that's what got me involved in that, entrepreneurship journey,
Okay.
more focus on procurement. I've started other companies in the past several years, but not as more involved as I am right now with the procurement aspect of it.
Right. All right. And I know you have a challenge that goes on from time to time, right? It's called a contract challenge. Tell us a little bit about the contract challenge.
Sure. Good. So the contract challenge have been going on for like quite some years. I did take a break with it. I want to say maybe 2 years ago, and I brought it back. So in the winter contract challenge, you get hands-on information where you learn and you implement. So if you're interested in like the certification, for example, we're going to cover that in the challenge. However, you'll be the one responsible for submitting your requirements. You will get support in terms of, Denise, does this form look okay? Is it this website? Is it that information? So you're going to get that. You're going to get information on how to compete for bids in your state, as well as any other businesses in the different states. So in some challenges, I've had companies in Virginia, I think Florida, I want to say Texas. And so the companies that are in that challenge are learning how to compete in Florida, Texas, and Virginia. So they learn in 3 states at one time. And it also includes coaching as well. You learn, so you're going to create your capability statement. You're going to create your statement of work, which is an opportunity where you create for yourself. Whatever skill you have, you're going to do that. You're going to submit it. So you're going to learn and implement. It's a challenge you want to be in if you're brand new to government contracting and you want to get involved in it and take action. So it's really good for companies that want to take action.
Awesome. That's great news. And folks, in the comments, you'll see I put the link to get the contract challenge. Right. So all you have to do is click on that link and you can go and sign up for that, get the contract challenge. You just talked about all about what it is and what the benefits are to you. And if you want to earn more money in your business, click the link. Right. We're making it easy for you tonight, folks. Now, a lot of people have been waiting to hear about these different certifications. Right. So I know there's a lot of acronyms that are out there. So you want to kind of highlight some of the acronyms, or do you want me to list out the different acronyms that I understand and then you tell us about them?
Sure, we could go in. So the Women Business Enterprise, that's the WBE, that's one certification. Then there's the Minority Business Enterprise, the MBE. There's the Veteran Business Enterprise. It could be like veteran owned, the VOBE acronym. And there's also certifications in some states for LGBT companies as well. And so they even have certifications for that, and goals, meaning there are budgets and money in there for companies that are LGBT certified at the state level. So definitely certifications are helpful, but not only is it great for your state, it is also the loophole is that your state certifications could also be used for major corporation supply diversity initiatives. So companies like Target has a supply diversity initiative. Facebook has one. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, American Express, well,
Delta
Delta
Airlines.
Airlines, right? I mean, there's so many. It's a long list of companies, and the certification that you receive, if you were to purchase the package, you could take that and tap it into all these major corporations as well. So it's definitely valuable that you have it. And also, these certifications, some of them are good for 5 years. So you may purchase the package now. This is 5 years. You're good, right? Some
Yeah.
states require like an annual verification. Basically, that means you need to let them know, hey, I still own at least 51% or more of my company. I still have the same phone number and the same address, and you just submit that on an annual basis. But that requirement varies from state to state. If your state has an annual verification, you absolutely must do it, else you're going to lose your certification.
Yes.
Virginia is 5 years to be, um, by the way.
Um, yeah. So someone just sent me a message said they don't see the links. Uh, go to my Facebook page, Cedric LaFleur on Facebook, and you'll see the links there. Or you can go to on my YouTube. The links are there. Um, and there's a couple of my pages that the links are there. I'll also make sure I put them on my um, in my LinkedIn. I'll click in the LinkedIn here just shortly and make sure that you can see the links there as well. All right. Um,
Another
so
benefit, I'm sorry, another benefit of the certification is as when you start to compete for RFPs and bids, sometimes they will give you more points if you indicate that you are a certified company. So that extra 5 points could mean you won that contract because you have 5 points because you have that certification, right? In addition to having everything else that was required. So keep that in mind. It's definitely beneficial for your business to have these certifications.
yes, absolutely. And let me just tell you, folks. So in Texas, like she said, there's what's called the hub zones, and hub is historically underutilized business zones. And I didn't know about that, and it helped that I got that certification because all of a sudden there was a state agency that wanted um, that put out an RFP for some leadership development training. Well, guess what? I needed to be hub zone so that I could apply there. I applied, and guess what? I won the bid, right? And that first contract was like 15 grand. The second one was 50 grand. The next thing that we're going to be doing is another 50 grand, right? So my point is this: you have to get this certification, right? Um, and when you look at the minority business enterprise, it has helped me out with some local contracts here in the city of Houston. Because I'm also certified, you guys saw a few weeks ago that I won a contract with to be the leadership development vendor for the city of Carrollton, Texas, right? So it's paying off. My initial investment for Denise to uh, get me certified is definitely paying off. And I was one of the ones, as I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it because it takes too much time. And then when Denise came on our business boot camp, is where you were, and I signed up that night,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And and the rest is history. So you just need to make sure that you go sign up as well, and then there's going to be some information that she's going to fill out and help you get started, and then there's going to be some information that you're going to have to also input in there. And guess what? It's going to take it's a process. It's not like you apply today and tomorrow you get certified. They're going to tell you 60 to 90 days, right? But you go through the process and you'll get certified. So there's AABE, which is, what is that, African American Business Enterprise?
Yes, they use that acronym with, I think, I want to say Atlanta or Georgia. When I help clients out there, they use it. Yeah, every state have their own set of acronyms that they're using. It's a lot.
Yes. And like she said, there's WBE, then there's MBE, there's SDB.
Yep. Small business disadvantage, something else. I don't remember all the acronym what it
Yeah.
stands for. But yes.
Then there's the VOB, which is a veteran-owned
Mhm.
business, right? And then there's one that has all these other acronyms for the federal government, right? Um, and so if you are a female, if you are a minority, any type of minority, if you are a veteran, then you need to make sure that you get your business certified. Now, before you can get your business certified, folks, you have to have a legitimate business. Okay, your business has to be registered with your Secretary of State and be legitimate. Have an EIN number. Okay, you're also gonna, like she said earlier, you're gonna have to create a capability statement, right? Um, and that's going to be something. It's a one pager. It's easy, really easy to make. You just have to put the information there, right? And the benefit, one of the things that I didn't realize at the time was that I was going to get registered in these supplier diversity programs. And all of a sudden, I started getting these emails from these places, and I sent Denise a message and like, well, what is this? Right. And it was the Facebook Supplier Diversity, it was Delta, it was Wells Fargo. There are several other ones. I'm going to actually pull them up here just so I can tell you. I want you to understand, folks, I'm not just here pitching something for someone. I'm here telling you that I'm a user, and I'm telling you how it benefited my business. Coca-Cola Supply Diversity, I'm on. Delta Airlines, I'm on. Discovery, Discover, um, iStar Financial, TexDot Supply Diversity, Warner Media Supply Diversity, Wells Fargo Supply Diversity. All of those because Denise got my business registered, certified, right? So make sure you hire the Procurement Queen to get your business registered and certified. Now, Denise, I told some people about this yoga instructor, and they were like,
Oh,
"What are you talking about?" So tell them this story so that they see I wasn't just making up stuff.
sure. So part of my role, what I put out with the district was looking for like after school enrichment activities for children, right? And so in that RFP itself, it has we're looking for math, science, I want to say social studies, the core content that the kids would use. But in there, I also included other, just the word other, that was it. Some ladies, she took it, she read the proposal, she looked at it, said, other. Oh, namaste all the way. I do yoga. I'm just gonna, pitch my shot and see what happens. So she did that. She responded using what I had under the other section and said, I want to teach the children yoga. And to this day, this woman has a contract with the district, making millions and millions of dollars with yoga because one, she took action. She looked at the RFP and said, they don't have yoga on here, but they do have an other. Let me see what they'll say. And it worked out in her favor. So I also want you to keep in mind as you guys are starting to look for these RFPs and these bidding opportunities that you look directly where it says the scope of work. So that means you need to open up the RFP, go to that section, scope of work, specifications, and you can see right there is where they're going to tell you exactly what they're looking for. So things like event planning is a government contract. T-shirt screen printing is a government contract. And in my bio on Instagram, on Instagram, Procurement Queen, there's a link in there for a free class. Take that free class. I go over a screen printing like bid tabulation sheet in there because people were asking questions during these live classes. So screen printing, whatever if you have a t-shirt and you can put Denise Williams on there, that's a contract. The government is looking for your company so they can put whatever word in that they want on those t-shirts. Photography is a contract. Everything that's legal, there's a government contract for it. DJing, there's a government contract for that as well. Okay.
Look at that, folks. I'm telling you, The procurement queen has the answer. She knows. So you need to make sure that you take advantage of this. So someone put a comment and said, hey, a lot of these programs are asking for tax returns. What about if you're a new LLC and haven't filed taxes before?
Good question. So if you're a new LLC, hopefully you're referring to your business was formed in 2022. Oftentimes the state would make exemptions with that, which simply will write them a letter stating the business was formed July 1st, 2022. We don't have any tax returns. And that state oftentimes, from my experience, typically say, okay, you will have to submit like your income statement and balance sheet, right? Because they want to make sure that you're in business. So whether you sold one cupcake, two cupcakes, $50, $20, it doesn't even matter. As long as you're operating and you're generating some revenue, the state likes that. But everything is on a case-by-case basis. Even the capability statement. The capability statement, I've seen that requirement when I worked with clients in Atlanta. It's required. New Jersey does not require a capability statement. So when you work with me, I go through it and customize it for your state to make sure that you only provide and you ask for the information that's needed for your state.
Yeah. She came. That person came back and said, "I see that they're asking for personal returns. The more she reads about it and hears about it, so yeah, they're trying to make sure that you're legitimate, right? That's the that's excuse me. Hey, folks, I'm sorry about the coughing, but I was down with COVID last week, and I'm on the mends now, and I'm feeling a whole lot better. So don't let the cough um, fool you. I'm actually feeling pretty good. So someone asked, what about oh, this is Tammy. She said, what about music education services?
Yes, that's a contract, Tammy. That's a contract. The equipment is a contract. Everything. When I tell you everything, and I've seen so many different types of contracts that come through before. It's all a contract. A quick way you could find out is to go into google.com, type in music education RFP. And I'm telling you RFP, which is request for proposal. Typically that tends to fall under your services. So type in music education RFP in Google and just hit go. You may start seeing RFPs that were from 1999, right? 2020, 2022. And so that's one way you could do a quick search just to say, hey, is there something out there for my business? If you want to narrow it down some more, you could put music education 2022, New Jersey, right? To be more specific. And so that's one way you could, and you could do the same type of search what I'm describing for any type of business that you're interested in. That's legal. It has to be legal. Okay.
All right, all right. So Nicole Simmons said she's the one that asked about that music, mu- music education services. Welcome, Nicole. Glad you're tuned in. Glad you're tuned in as well, Tammy. Hey, Facebook is trying to keep you guys on the download tonight. It's not putting your name out there. So, but I'm glad you guys are tuned in and listening. Definitely appreciate that. So, um, one of the things that comes up sometime is that it takes a while for these contracts to come through in terms of, I mean, not contract, but the certifications to come through, right? And for example, the veterans owned certification takes a little while sometimes. So should people hang in there? Should they just quit? Because if it's taking a long time, does that mean that they're headed down the road of getting a no?
No, that's oftentimes not. What I've seen so far, the process taken away from like some states like 30 to 90 days. Other states is like, no, we need 6 months, right? Oftentimes what I'm hearing is because of COVID, there's a lot of staff shortage. So the process is taking a lot longer and than before. There are some states where maybe you gave a copy of your tax return, but you left off the page where you signed. So they don't see that in your print, in your screen, right? On the image. They would then come back and say, hey, you need to resubmit that. And some states would now start the clock all over again. So they may have you say it's to 90 days, but on day 89 or so, they're like, hey, you forgot that one sheet. And now you got to start all over again from that day 89 as if it's day number one when you resubmit it. So it doesn't mean you're going down the wrong way. Oftentimes it's really just a staffing shortage at these organizations from what I've seen so far. Now, when they send you email notifications, they may send you an email that says, hey, we need clarification for this particular document. You have 5 days to give it to respond. The clock is ticking, so you have to take action, right? If not, then that could cause you to start the process all over again, and then you definitely get like a no. Um, there's some states where you only get one shot to submit it. So if you submit it today and things are not correct and they reject it, they're like, listen, you need to wait a whole 365 days before we look at your document all over again. So all these states have different nuances. So it's important to know that. And when you work with me, I go through all of that, so you know all that information like upfront. Okay.
Yeah, so that means that you just need to be prepared with your information and your documents. And hey, look, folks, here's what I do. I created a folder, and guess what my folder was called? Procurement Queen. and, and then within that folder, I had subfolders for Harris County, for my veteran owned, for the hub zone, right? So that as I got things back for those particular areas, boom, I put it in that folder. And when I need something now, I know I just go to my Procurement Queen folder and boom, all of my information is there. You see? So again, you need to be prepared. It's on you to be prepared and be ready when those agencies come a calling, so that way there's nothing that is being held back on your end from getting you certified. And trust me, folks, that's money in your pocket, right? When you spend the time to help get your business certified with these agencies, and it's definitely worth every penny that you spend. And really and truly, she doesn't charge a whole lot for her services. So you need to make sure you don't let scarcity set in and start telling you, oh, well, I don't have the time. I don't have the money to spend on this right now. I can't do that right now. Let me tell you what, folks, you can't afford not to do this, right? So let's make sure that you click on the links. You see scrolling across your screen is procurementqueen.com, right? That's her website. And then you can click on services and see the different services. And she'll tell you again what services you need to get. So Tammy, hey, Tammy, we can see you now. Her question is, what is the difference between MBE certification and MBE classification?
So I'm not familiar with the classification part of it, but the MBE is Minority Business Enterprise Certification. That is where for your minority, you need to be either an African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, or Native American. And then you also need to have owned for 51% or more of your company. So when you start talking about partnerships and negotiating, keep certifications in mind, because a 50-50 split is not going to help you get certified, because it has to be 51% or more. It needs to be owned. So that is really important to know some of these opportunities before you put yourself in a contract that you probably can't get out. If you do have a partnership and it's a 50-50 split, what I've done with my clients is say, hey, one of y'all need to take that 51%, right? And so they'll decide amongst themselves and negotiate which one of the company is going to take the 51%. And then I would need like a new operating agreement, right? To do that, they would have to have their tax return be filed the same way, the ownership status, all the documents have to have flow, and it has to be in sync. Okay. Good question. Yeah, I'm not sure which online quiz you're referring to. I mean, every state is different. I would have to see which state you're referring to where they talked about a classification and not a certification. But when you talk into supply diversity at major corporations, they want certification. I don't know what the classification is. They're looking for certified companies. That's for FedEx, even UPS. So it's to your benefit. And there are some company websites that are out there that mimic what the state looks like. So you would think you're with the state, but you're really not. So keep that in mind too. So I'm not sure if you're like on one of their websites as well. I know some of the students in the Get the Contract Challenge was like, Denise, I'm in your class and you're telling me that you need all these documents, but I'm on this other company's website and they want to get my company certified. And I just got to send them a check. I was like, what company is this? So they send it to me and I'm like, no, 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 no. This is not the state website. Do not use that. Use this link. This is where you need to go. So it might, I'm not sure if that's one of those instances that you're looking at, Tammy.
Yes, and here's what I'll add to what you just said. So one of the ladies who was helping me with my veteran-owned certification process, she works with she wasn't helping with, she was the person processing my paperwork for the Veterans Administration, and she said, "Hey, I need to you to show me something that you own 51% of your business." I said, "Well, I'm the only business owner." She goes, "Well, yeah, but you're married, so you're in common law state, so it's technically 50-50. You have to get your spouse, your wife, to give up 2%. I have a whole letter. She showed me the verbiage I needed in this letter, and I had to get my wife to sign. I had to get it notarized that says she was giving up 2% equity so that I could have that 51% number, so that they can continue to process my paperwork. So just know that that's out there. But guess what? The lady who was working for the VA to help me with this, she didn't have to take it. She didn't have to spend her time to help me with this. They could have just put me through the process and said, "Hey, too bad." And so my point is, there are some things that you have to do. You just have to be ready when that day comes. Because trust me, with the veteran-owned certification, I think they were asking me at some point, what's my great-grandchildren's name? I don't even have grandchildren yet. So, and I told her one day, I said, "Look, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done." I said, "You guys have asked me for way more information than I want to share." She says, "Trust me, just bear with me. I'm gonna get you through the process." She says, "But there's a reason why we're asking for this information." And then she walked me through that. I won't bore you with all the details, but she walked me through this, and she said, "If you go through the process, it will be worth it in the end." And she definitely was right. So I don't regret that I did it. I'm sharing with you so you know that sometimes there's a process in here, and you just have to be ready and prepared for that process. All right. So let's keep going here. Dr. Sharon Johnson has joined us, and she asked, "How long does the MBE and the WBE take?"
In terms of it depends on how quickly you could get the documents to me that's needed. Like your certificate of formation. Some clients are like, "I don't even know where I put that. It's in my attic somewhere," right? It may require you to go on your state's website to pay extra to get a copy of it. So it all depends on how quickly you can get that information. The process with the agency itself typically takes anywhere from 30 to 90 days. There are agencies where it will take longer. Especially with COVID, there's a lot of staffing shortages that's going on right now at these agencies.
Yes, absolutely. So, Tammy said, "Hey, mine is very simple. I'm not married, sole owner, woman, minority, veteran, disabled." That's also brings up, there's a disabled veteran certification as well. So said, "I think I might have missed this, but are you prepping packages for each of these certifications?"
Yes, if it's within your state, I would. If you want like a certification for the federal side, that's the whole nother package, a whole nother separate process. But if it has to do with your state, certification, for example, with Virginia with SWAM, right? When you go through the system, they're asking you, "Hey, are you minority? Are you women? Are you veteran?" If you're all of these things, for me, I'm checking off the boxes that you're all that, so that way you could get all the certifications. Can I say, "Hey, it's individual and charge you extra for each one"? Yes. Do I currently do that? No, I don't do that, and I've not done that so far. So if you go through my process, you will get these certifications if it's within the same agency. Okay.
All right. So if they go to your website, procurementqueen.com/services, there are three categories: minority business enterprise, woman business enterprise, and veteran business enterprise. Right. So if I'm a male minority and I'm veteran owned, then I need to click both of those, right? Minority business enterprise and veteran owned business, right?
I would just pick one.
Okay.
Just pick minority, and then in conversation, and we go back and forth in terms of the documents and what you purchase. If your state, that same agency has the veteran-owned certification, then you would get that for the same price. There wouldn't be any extra package you would have to purchase.
Okay. There you go, folks. See, I try to make it simple for you so you understand. Just go to her website. You have three options. She says pick one. She'll tell you later if you need to pick another one, but more than likely you will fall into that one category. It's just that easy, that simple, and that process. Okay, so does that help? Tammy said, "Thank you for clarifying. This is for state level and not federal." So
Mhm.
there you go. So click on the link. You see it scrolling across your screen, but I'm also put it back in the comments as well. So you can click on that link and procurementqueen.services and procurementqueen.com/services. Let me put this in the comments and then we will keep going here. All right. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. So tell us something that's fun and interesting and exciting about Denise Williams.
Oh man, I feed the birds. I'm a bird feeder now. I guess that might be a little bit interesting. That's kind of
So you spend time when you're not doing this feeding birds?
I do, and then I watch them eat it. I do.
Okay. All right.
I do. I spend time
Okay.
doing that. So I have like lots of bird houses all over the house, all decorated and really cute.
Okay. All right. So Dr. Sharon asks, she says, this is great information. What about HUD? So it's not HUD, it's Hub, HUB as in boy, right?
So the hub certification is what is in Texas. I believe North Carolina also has the same HUB certification as well. Historically underutilized
Yeah, historically underutilized business.
business. Yes, thank you. Hub, sorry, certification. So North Carolina has it as well. So it's the same type of thing. 51% or more owned by minority. You need to have a legitimate business, meaning it needs to be a for-profit LLC corporation. Nonprofits do not qualify for certification. So just keep that in mind. So your business has to be legitimate. You need to have like a resume. You also have to go for the certification that has where you have operational experience, meaning you actually know what you're doing. You qualify in that field. For example, if I submitted my minority owned certification in New Jersey for construction, I would be denied because I do not know how to paint. I do not know how to put up a dry wall. I don't have the level of expertise or experience reflected on my resume or in anything else that shows that they should certify my business for construction underneath that category. So that's the operational experience piece, and they're gonna get that from your resume as well as sometimes they'll require you to provide certifications. So if you're a music instructor and you want to get certified in that area, then your resume should show that, hey, I'm a music teacher. I write music curriculum. I have my own music school. It has to really make sense. All your documents have to flow. If your business is operated from your home, you will still qualify for the certification as well. They oftentimes ask for your mortgage statement. If you own your home free and clear, they'll ask for your deed. If you have an apartment, they'll ask for your lease. If your apartment lease is in somebody else's name, oftentimes I write a letter stating exactly, hey, it's in my husband's name, it's in my boyfriend's name, it's in my grandma's name, but I live here, and so forth.
Yes. Uh, and Dr. Sharon also asked, she said, hey, I tried applying for hubs, but by my address, I was not qualified.
So maybe you're referring to like the hub zone, I'm assuming, in terms of address. That's something I could think of, and that's more the federal level um
Yeah, at the federal
certification.
level. At the state
Yeah.
level, though, Texas. Well, let me. Yeah, that's the federal level, but at the state level, I was actually trying to look it up. I'll keep looking it up, but so I know that there are hub zones in Texas, and I know that because I'm a hub zone approved as well. There's hub zone in Hawaii. I remember Miss Layla, if you're out there listening tonight, but I remember we looked that up for you a couple of weeks ago, right? All right, so let's keep going here. Miss Cheryl Edwards Gray says, "Hey, I didn't take advantage the first time you brought her, Cedric, but I won't miss out this time." Let me tell you what, folks. Here's what happens. Um, if you've been trying to figure out how do I get connected with these university systems, right? I see that they always have. I hear that they have RFPs that out there. These local colleges. How do I get into that network? Well, guess what? You got to get certified. The minute my business was certified, I started receiving all of these RFP requests from Texas Tech University, University of Texas, Lone Star College, Texas A&M. It was a one in Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Um, Once I got certified, I was put into their system. And now when they send out RFPs, guess what? I am on that list and I get to compete for those. University of Houston sent me one a few weeks ago, right? I get to compete for those, folks. That's the same thing that can happen to you. You guys see, I post, hey, Cedric, I just won this. Hey, I post those so that you can see. This is not just talk, folks. This stuff is this lady right here who's on my screen in the studio tonight. She's not just talking about stuff she learned in a book. This is stuff that she's doing every day, and it can happen in your business. You just have to be willing, not let scarcity set in. Because here's what's going to happen. I already know it never goes away. You're going to hear tonight, you're going to get excited tonight, and you're going to be ready. And then you say, well, maybe I can't do it, but maybe I need to go spend the whole week in Orlando and da 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 da. But I don't have the money to do this. But if I go to this conference over here in Orlando, I'm going to get all excited and motivated and inspired and all this type of stuff. And you're going to leave, and you're still not going to have anything in your business when you should be spending the time getting your business certified. Minority owned, woman owned, veteran owned business, hub zone business, so that you can get your business certified so you can start making some money. Quit getting inspiration and start doing things that's going to make money in your business. You can go to Orlando next year when you make a lot of money. I'm just telling you, folks. My goal is to help you learn to do the things that I'm doing to make money in my business. All right. And if you just want an expensive hobby, then keep running to Orlando and having expensive hobbies. Okay. But if you want to have a revenue generating business, then you need to start doing these things. And tonight, you need to click that link and you need to get working with Miss Denise Williams, the Procurement Queen, in your business. Don't let scarcity set in. Don't play tricks with your mind. Oh, that's all right. I don't need to do it right now. I'm not ready for it right now. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that. Your business means too much in order for you to not do this now. Because if you delay, then that's 90 more days you're delaying. You delay, that's another 90 more days you're delaying. And by the time you get ready to do it, something else is going to come up and you're going to give yourself another reason why you can't do it. Because then there's going to be another trip in Orlando in March of next year. You can say, I got to go do that. I can't do this. All right. Let me get off my soapbox right quick and get back to the show here. Let me see what other comments we have. I tried applying, but my address. Oh, look at that. Do you recommend LLC over DBA for this?
It doesn't matter. It could be anything. And the beauty of procurement, and once you get certified, let's say you get certified as leadership coaching, right? Now, if you saw an opportunity for what's another coaching that they have, management consultant, you could respond to that too, because your business, that DBA or the LLC, is the company that's certified. You're not limited just for that. Now, your accountant may say, hey, now that you're doing management, you should do a whole separate LLC for your management company and a separate one for the pet business, a separate one for whatever, right? So your accountant may say that you should have separate companies for all that. In terms of procurement, I'm only going to talk for procurement. Procurement does not matter. As long as you could provide those goods and services, that is what is important. So whether you're an LLC or DBA, it doesn't matter. Your documents will all have to have that information on it. So it has to be consistent throughout. And what Cedrick is saying, when his company is certified, he's submitted to all these different agencies, keep in mind, these agencies have goals. So they may say, I have a goal of $1 billion budget needs to go to minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-owned companies. And because his information come across somebody's desk and says, hey, it says they're certified and he has leadership, right away, that's like, bam, let's send his information to all these different people, internal, right? Because they want to try to meet that goal. You got to so keep that in mind. It's a different level of attention you get once you have these certifications. It also shows that you're serious about your business too, right? Right. So it shows a certain level of knowledge and expertise saying, hey, yes, I'm great with my leadership coaching. And I'm also great at the business aspect because I went the extra step for my business and got my business certified. So I gave all the proper documents. So right away in purchasing, you're looking at like, wow, this vendor has really good follow through. Right. Exactly. So if I were to give them this contract for $80,000, they're going to follow through. I don't have to worry about them taking the contract and not doing any work or doing a poor job. So keep that in mind as well, right? The certifications mean something.
Yeah. So, Carol, you said, hey, so we just provide the docs and you do all the work. Carol, there's never going to be something that somebody else is going to do everything for you. There's a process. There's going to be some things that she's going to do, excuse me, on the front end to get you started, get the things moving. There are going to be some documents that you're going to have to submit either to Denise or right into the database. Because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start getting these emails from these different databases. And you're like, well, what is all of this? Right? Boom. You're going to go in, you're going to create a login and a password. You're going to get in and you're going to see that she's put in some stuff, but there are going to be some personal stuff that she doesn't have that you're going to have to put in. Mm-hmm. Right? And then you're going to be running down the road with the process. So I don't want to confuse anyone to say, hey, boom, 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 she's going to be doing all the rest of the work. That's all encompassing. That's way too much. There's going to be some that she's going to do, and then there's going to be some that you're going to do. But I guarantee you, at the end of the day, you're going to benefit from getting that done, right? So Tammy Tammy said, did I miss the SETI's friend discount? So on Denise's page, and you have to remind me, Denise, because I don't remember how they do this, but on Denise's page, when you sign up for the service, I think you said the code was Cedrick, right?
I think so. Yes, I believe so. If they're having any issues, just send me an email, and I'll see what's going on. But I haven't changed it, so it should be the same.
Yeah. All right. So you go in, and when you register or go to register, right? In fact, I'm going to do it right now. And you go in and you click the service that you want. Excuse me. All right. And you'll say, hey, I'm going to book this. And you will put in, there should be an area here where you can put in a discount code, right? And with that discount code, you're going to get a discount because you are a friend of Cedrick. If you have a problem with it in terms of getting that discount, then like she said, send her an email and boom, let her know that you're a friend of SETI and she'll hook you up with the Friends of Cedrick discount, right?
Right.
Remember, membership has its privileges. Friendship has its privileges, folks. And I won't just recommend somebody if I don't believe in their service, if I haven't used the service and I've used her service. I've seen the returns in my business, and I highly believe um, in Denise, the procurement queen, in what she can do to help you and your business, right? So um, that's why she's here tonight, right? So, all right, Tammy has a question. She says, last question. Excuse me. Says, when you go through the process with the federal certification, does it do the state also, or does the state still need to be done separately?
Everything is separate. The federal process asks for a lot of information, right? I mean, a lot. So if you're married, be ready that your spouse will receive notifications. Your spouse have to submit information on the federal side. There are some state agencies that are like that too, but it's a totally different process. So the federal certification is one, and your state and local government is another. Is really important that Cedrick is saying? Cedrick took action. So after you get certified, you still have to do some steps, right? You still need to know these agencies that you exist. You still need to be responding to these RFPs and these opportunities. In the package you purchase, it does include what's called bid notification, where I set you up so that way you can get all these different opportunities within your state. So you'll be saying, hey, there's an opportunity for, I don't know, laundry services, if that's your business and that's category. You'll get these notifications when they put out any opportunities, but you have to respond to it. Don't just get the certifications and do nothing. It's not going to help you. You have to take action. And Cedrick got the certifications and he took action, and he's sharing his success stories. A lot of my clients do not share their success stories. I'm being honest with you. They're like, don't come after me for no money. I don't have it. Cedrick is open and he's sharing this information with you. And so thank you, Cedrick.
Yes, because I want people to be successful in their business, and I want them to see that it happens if they take action. It's not just some pie in the sky type thing. And this is why I'm excited about this. This is why I'm having you here on the show again tonight. And this is what I do. Folks, and all the people who are listening, the people who are listening, who are going to listen to the recording, you know how I am, and I'm gonna just tell you, just straight up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything like this. You need to start working on your business. You need to start working in your business, and tonight is the night for you to start doing this. I want you to be successful in your business. I want you to start earning money in your business. I want you to start taking advantage of these opportunities, and if being a friend of Cedrick helps you in that journey, in that process, then hey, that's what it's all about, right? And I just know that when I'm on fire for something because it's helping me, I'm not the one that's going to hold back the information so it can help someone else. I want to share it because I want other people to be helped. You just have to be willing to take action. You're not going to be able to use my debit card or credit card to pay Denise, right? You're going to use your own. We don't share that way. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Hopefully this has been helpful, beneficial, and inspiring to you. And hopefully you take some action and go spend some money over there with the Procurement Queen. And guess what, folks? 90 days from now, you're going to come back here and say, Cedrick, I am so glad I did this. 90 days from now, you're going to see a difference in what you can do in your business, right? Are you going to win every RFP you go after? No. Do I win every one of them? No. But you know what? I win absolutely none that I'm not eligible to compete in. So I want to make sure that I'm eligible to compete. And in order to make yourself eligible to compete, you got to get certified. So why don't you guys give a hand clap, a thank you, a thumbs up, and all that type stuff to the Procurement Queen for coming on the show tonight. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in as well. Every Monday night at 6:30 Central Time, we're going to be right here on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. And I'm going to be back here next Monday night with a show Folks, I am going to be pumped up and excited next Monday night. I got something special for you next Monday night. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though. You're not going to get it out of me, right? But I have something planned special next Monday night, folks. I just need you to be in the studio. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma. Make sure that they come on here and tune in to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. We might change the name to Talk Leadership with Ceddy soon, right? So remember, folks, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And don't be on the menu. Thank you, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you, Denise, for coming on the show.
Thank you.